we are going to make this nice gift box, and you can fill it with cards or any kind of gift. It's a pretty good size. Actually, it's about, inside is about 7 inches, and it is 4.5 inches wide. So that's a pretty good size. Now I'm going to use Garden Green, and one of the sheets from Designer Series pack that we have that has 48 sheets in it that are 12 by 12. All right, we're going to use the scoring board. So we're going to start with a box cover. You want to cut your cardstock to 11 by 7, and we're going to score this. The 11-inch side, we're going to score it at 5 inches, and we're going to do 5, and then we're going to do 6. This is going to be our book, the binder, if you will. Okay. So we're going to take that, and we'll go ahead and fold and get it scored, creased. Make sure that you've got your paper lined up on both sides, and then we're going to turn it around and just fold the other side. And this is making the spine for our book. All right, so I'm going to lay this down, make sure it's straight, and then we'll just give that a good burnish as well. All right, so there is our book spine. All right, so you can see that right there. Okay, so we're going to set this off to the side. We don't need this just yet. Then the next piece that you need is going to be 10.5 by 8.5. So this is our 10.5. Okay, so on this one, we are going to score at 1 and 2 inches on all 4 sides. Okay, so I'm going to line it up, and we're going to do 1 inch here. And we're going to do, what did I say, 1 and 2? Yeah, 1 and 2. So we'll do 1. Okay, all right, so we got our cardstock at 10.5 by 8.5 and score at 1 and 2 inches on all 4 sides. Okay, all right, so let's move this out of the way, and we're going to cut paper snips here. Now on this one, we are going to start on the 10.5 inch side, and we are going to come in, and before we fold and burnish, we want to cut off some corners. So we are going to cut up, we're going to go into the second square. So we're going to cut the second square. So that would be the first and second one here. And we're going to bring this up. We're going to come into the second square here. And we're going to take off, we're going to cut to the second piece right there. Okay. And then we're going to do that on both sides. So we're going to cut in and go up and cut there. And then flip it around and do the same thing on this side. And we're going to cut this up to the second line, which is the score line. So we're just going to cut that up. It really is pretty easy. Once you get the cutting and the scoring done, you'll have a better handle once you do it once. All right, so we're going to cut that up, all right? And then we're going to remove these 2 corners here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off, and we're going to remove those here, and we're going to remove it here. And then we're going to remove it here, and we'll remove it. Oh, you know what? I think I'm supposed to leave a flap there. But that's all right. We'll get it straight. Okay. All right. And then, so we're going to angle cut. Actually, this one, we need to cut this flap. Let's see, we're going to put it like that. This flap needs to be cut here, because this one we're going to fold in. So these will cut right here. I hope I'm doing this right. I just made this thing yesterday. All right. So we're going to cut this one here. And we're going to, let me do this one. We're going to, actually, I think we're going to, yeah, we're going to remove this one on this side. We've got that one. We've removed that one. Okay, we got to remove this one. Took that one off, right? And we've got this one down here needs to go. Is that right? Yep, here. And then we've got to take this one off. All right, so let's go ahead and burnish. We're going to cut here. And this is where we want to angle it a little bit because we want it to fold. So we just want to get a little bit of an angle so that when we fold it, it doesn't get hung up when we go to fold the box, okay? So I'm just going to come here and do that. And I'm going to angle this one a little bit because I know when you try to fold the box, make sure I'm in the camera. I apologize because I can't see. And then this one we need to, yes I do. We want to fold this one up. So we're going to do that, and then I'm going to trim this one here off just a tad because he's going to fold inside. All right, and then we'll do the same thing with this one. So this one we're going to fold up, and then I'm going to just snip just a little bit off this side. Just give it that little bit of an angle cut so we don't have all that bulk when we do the thing. So we're going to cut this one up as well. And you can always just trim it up at that point. So I'll just trim, try to keep my fingers there, and cut this up just a little bit. So we give it that angle cut. And I'll just take it off the bottom. And then we'll do a little bit here as well. Hopefully y'all can see this. I can't. All right, I think we've got him. This guy looks a little wonky, so I'm gonna move him up just a little bit. Okay, I think we're good. Let's hopefully that will work. All right, so let's go ahead and give our thing a good burnish. So we're gonna burnish this, and then we're gonna burnish this one, and then we're gonna come back. I hope I did it right. I hope I don't have these backwards. Gosh, I got glue all over, and I can't even use. Let me get another bone folder. All right, so we got those. Let's turn it around and we'll do this side first. And then we're gonna come back and then we'll do everything. It's easier. I'm gonna go ahead and fold that one up because they're smaller. So we're just gonna burnish all these edges, right? All these sides pieces that we've cut and scored. All right, so we're gonna do that. Get that in there and do this one. All right, and then we're gonna come back and do the same thing here. Get my papers out of the way. All right, so there is our box. So what we're going to do now is we're gonna go ahead and fold these flaps in like this. And then these flaps, we can fold them. We can fold it like that, and that's gonna hold it, okay? So we're gonna put some adhesive. We'll start right here on the sides. Put some adhesive on those. They're going to go in, and then we'll put some on this. And I'm going to use my multi-purpose glue. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this back because I want this to have the glue on it. So I'm going to fold this so it's back out of my way, and then we can fold it over and get it glued down, okay? So just don't put a lot because we don't want it oozing out the corners, but we do want to make sure we've got it enough. And then we're going to put some glue here. That's probably enough to cover that one. And let's do this side. So I just want to make sure I get enough around on the ends to hold it down. All right, and then we'll just put some glue in here. And we can add a glue right here because this is going to go, but that's probably going to be extra. That's just going to be a little extra. So we're going to tack that down. And like anything, we're going to make sure that our corners, or if you can see, are squared up, right? So let's just hold it for just a moment and make sure that that's going to adhere. All right, and then we're going to come back and do this one. Make sure this one's going to adhere as well. I'm going to turn around so I can see it. And then we're going to get this one to hold down. I'm going to make sure I've got it squared up, so I'm going to move it over just a little bit. All right, so you see that right there. All right, so we're going to get it just like that. We'll hold it down for a minute. All right, and then we're going to take this piece here and we're going to fold this over where our glue is. Now this one you can see, whoops, he wasn't glued all the way down. All right, so now this one we're going to fold, and it's going to hold it down. And I'm just going to hold it in place for just a minute, make sure it's all adhered, okay? So you can see our boxes are nicely squared, all right? And then we're going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive to these little flaps just to make sure that we've got enough to hold it. So again, I'm going to push this one together, make sure that it's squared up there, nice and even. And you just got to hold it for a minute or two to make sure that multi-purpose glue holds. You can use the snail, but I would recommend not, because you need to be able to move it. And if not snail, the seal. So I would not recommend doing that. All right, and then we're going to do this one as well. So we're going to square him up, and we're going to come back, and I'm going to push these down with the bone folder to make sure that they're nice and adhered when we get ready to put this down. And I'm just going to add a little bit right here and a little bit right here on these two little flappy doos. All right, and then we're going to fold this one down, and I think I'll go back. I don't think I did that on the other one. All right, so I'm going to take this, and we're going to leave these right here for now. All right, I'm going to put this upside down. I don't know if y'all can see. I'm just going to take my bone folder on the inside. Don't go all the way to the bottom. Just go right almost to the, like a 1/16 of an inch before on the inside so it doesn't hit the bottom. We just want to make sure we get it nice and tight. So we're just going to come back and rub that down a couple of times and make sure that it adheres. All right, so while we're doing that one, let's do this one on this side. And we're going to do the same thing. And I know you probably can't see. Hold on, let me get this guy out of the way. All right, so we're going to put this one here. And then I'm just going to hold it down and just do a good burnish with it. And just give it a few minutes, seconds or two to make sure that it's going to adhere before we start flapping everything down. All right. And I think what I probably should have done, and that's why this one's not adhering, is put a little, hang on, let me see if I can flip this up. I think I need some glue right here on this edge, because I don't think I put any, I didn't. So let me just put a little bit right here, because it doesn't want to look like it wants to fold down and stick. All right, there we go. All right, so make sure you put glue. Make sure you get enough glue in there. And let me just do this one. I didn't put the glue on the little hingey thing, so I'm just going to put some, whoopsie. All right, so we're going to hold that down. And let me burnish that real quick again. We'll just get both of these sides held down. And this is forming the box for our cards or whatever gift you want to put in it. Put some tissue paper in here. You can put jewelry, necklaces, gift cards. You can fill it up with money, whatever you want to put in it. All right, so there's that. And then all we're going to do now is tuck these in to clean up the box. And I'm going to glue this down as well because we want it all to hold, right? So again, we're going to put the, well, actually, we're going to fold this down. I'm just going to put it right on here. It's not going to make a difference because it's going to get folded. So it should stick. And we'll just make sure we've got enough glue here on the sides. All right, so we're going to just fold that one in. And we'll do this one too, and then I'll go back and do it with the bone folder. Make sure we got it nice. And you can put it down there, but since these are the sides, I think we'll be fine just to do it like this. All right, so we're gonna put those down there and give it a little minute for it to grab. And then we'll take our bone folder and just push it in. Don't go all the way to the bottom though with your tip. All right, so we want that to hold. This is just pushing down your cardstock to make sure that it's nice and adhered so it doesn't come apart. All right. So there's our box. All right. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to add this to our binder. And this is our book binder. What we want to do is we're going to glue the bottom and we're going to line this up. And I know it's kind of hard to see. We want to line it up right, not on the score line, but right on the edge, like again, like a 1/16 of an inch. So I'm going to put adhesive on this side, which is going to be the left side. This is the only side that you're going to put adhesive. So we're going to do that here. And then of course we're going to do it on the bottom. So let me get some adhesive going here. And we want to make sure we've got enough to keep it whole, held, right? And then we're going to do the bottom of the box. So we're just going to lay that down and we'll just come around. And you can put your, you can use your seal on this if you choose to do so. I'm just using this again because I want to be able to move it around if I need to. All right. Okay. All right, and now the other thing we want to do is we want to make sure that we come down 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to hold this. So 1/4 of an inch, this is 1/4 of an inch, is going to be that little, see that little line right there? That's where we want to line it up at the top and the bottom. Okay, so we can lay this on there and we should be able to do it. We'll line it up and it should be pretty easy because you can kind of eyeball it and look to see your top and your bottom. And I think I'm pretty, whoops, I'm putting my head in the sun. I think I'm pretty good. Line this up on the edge right near the score line. And I'm pretty confident that I am in there. So it looks like we're good on the 1/4 inch. So we're just gonna take our bone folder again. So we've got that there, and then all I'm gonna do is pull the side up like that because I've got the adhesive on there, right? So I'm gonna pull the side up and I'm just gonna lay it down like this. And again, we're just gonna go through and do our burnish to get our box to adhere, right? And then we're gonna fold it and there's our box. So there you go. Isn't that cool? So there's our gift box with our lid. Pretty good so far. All right, we'll set that off to the side. And now we're going to come in and we need 2 pieces of basic white cardstock. And these pieces are going to be 4 7/8 by 6 7/8. So it's 4 7/8 this way, 6 7/8 that way. And we need 2 of them. Now we need to round 2 of the corners. So if you have a paper corner rounder, this is one, I think this is retired. This is the Detailed Trio. I'm pretty sure it's probably retired, but it has the corner rounder here. If you have the envelope punch board, you've got a rounder on the back side, on the back, not the back, but the top where you do your scoring on the top of it. There's a corner rounder there as well. All right, so we're going to round 2 corners on the white. Just round 2 on the same side, and then we'll do our designer paper. So I'm going to cut that one. Make sure you go in straight because it's got to be lined up even. And then you just push down. In this particular type, you just push down on the center, and it's only going to cut the corner that you're putting the paper in. And then we'll do this side here. Yep, I'm going to make sure we got them on the same side. All right, so there's our round corners on the white here. Now, keep in mind, one of these is going to be on the front. So the front piece, you want your corners on the right-hand side, right? But on the bottom, you want your corners, because you want it to be the same, correct? So you want your corners to be like on backwards. So you want them to be facing the left side, and then this would be on the right side. So that way they look the same, okay? So one's gonna be, and the reason I say that, because when we put our designer paper on here, you gotta make sure you get that right. So we're gonna have, this will be our bottom, and then this is gonna be our top, okay? And then we're gonna take 2 pieces of designer paper, and these are going to be cut at 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. All right, so 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. So again, on this one, I need to do the right side of my paper to punch these corners. So we're going to do that one, and we'll do the bottom one. So we're going to round those. All right, and then this is going to get adhered to there. All right, now the back side, which is flipped that way, right, because we're going to adhere it. Once we put it on there, we've got our corners rounded. We want it to be like this. So I need to do the left side of my paper. So they're rounded just like the basic white. Okay, so we're going to get these on there. All right, so we've got that. So let's go ahead and adhere these to their respective piece of basic white cardstock. And again, I'm just going to use my multi-purpose glue. And we want to just come around all the edges, make sure that we get those nice and covered. And then we want to make sure we've got enough to keep it held onto our back of our book. And I love this pretty paper. I thought this would be cute. This could be for, you know, again, it could be, you could put for a birthday. You can make it for a just because, whatever reasons that you want. Okay, so we're going to lay this on here, give it a little bit of a border. I'm trying to see it. If I got it on there. I need to pull it down a little bit. That's one thing nice about that liquid glue is it allows you to move it. And I'll move it up just a tad. All right, there we go. All right, so we've got those two pieces. All right, so those are our pieces for our book. Now, let me go to the spine. We're going to do some spine cutting, and I'll give you those dimensions as well. And I'll go ahead and get these put together, and then we'll finish up decorating the book. So we need 4 whites, basic white, and you're going to have 7/8 here by 6 7/8. So they're all 7/8. I apologize. So 7/8 by 6 7/8, 6.5, and then you'll have 2 at 4.5. Okay, my apologies. All right, those are the basic white. Now the designer paper is the 3/4. So this is 3/4 by 6 3/4, 6 3/8. And then you'll have, you'll have 2 at 4 3/8. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and adhere these. So you'll see how they're just going to go right on each one. So let's go ahead and add our adhesive to these. I'm going to move these out of the way just a second, and then we can start putting everything together. Oops, pulling the wrong glue. Okay, so let's go ahead and add some adhesive. Make sure, sometimes I get a little heavy-handed towards the ends, and then you get the glue that starts oozing out. So just make sure you don't do what I do. Okay. All right, so we're going to add that. I've already got glue all over my fingers. All right, so we're going to put that in here. I'm going to slide this down just a little bit. And bear with me a second. Let me just grab this and pull it down. Get it nice and straight. All right, and then this is the next one. So we're going to go ahead and put our adhesive on this one as well. I think I'll use my tweezers. It's probably a little bit easier. That way I don't get glue all over my fingers. And the nice thing about this paper, you don't have to worry about if it's going which way, right? Because it's kind of all over the place. So I'm just lining it up at the bottom where my finger is and trying to hold it so I can get it in place where it's even on the sides. And then I'm going to pull this down just a tad to get it close to the bottom. All right, so there's those 2 pieces. And then we're going to do the whites as well for here. Let me move those out of the way. All right, so we'll put our adhesive on these. And then we'll do the same here. We'll just get this one lined up and lay that down. That's one thing about that glue. It's nice because it allows us to move it around. All right, so there we go. So now we have all of that done, okay? So let's put our spines on. I like to do that before I add the tops, but you can do it either way. So this long one is the one that goes on the spine itself on the book. So let's go ahead and add our adhesive to this one. And we'll get that right there, go around the edges. And this will hold that down. All right. There we go. Get that in position. Just push them down a little bit further. All right, and this one. So, all right, so we've got all of those on there. So see how pretty that looks? All right, okay. Now the next thing we're going to do before we add our paper, our back covers, front and back covers, we're going to add some ribbon. So I would probably recommend this right here, about 26 inches, okay? So we've got 13 here, and then I'm going to measure. This is, hang on a second. All right, so we're going to go right about like that. And this is Bubble Bath. This was part of the 3 combo pack that came, I think, with the blue and, was it the yellow? Yeah, a blue and looks like, I think it was the lemon lolly. All right, so what we want to do is take your ribbon, fold it in half, just to get an idea where the middle mark is. And you know what? I just realized I shouldn't have put the spine on here. That should have waited. I should have put the spine on before, after I put the ribbon. So this one's going to be a little bit backwards. See how I did this one? The ribbon went on first. So that's my fault. But it'll still be fine. But this way, if you do it and put the ribbon on before you do the spine, it hides it. But that's all right. So we're going to put, I'm just going to, so it's in half. So I know where to lay this on my spine. So you can put it, I'm going to try to lay it down where it's in the center. All right. And of course now we'll have, but it'll be fine. It's no big deal. It'll still work. So there's my center part. So I'm going to take, and this is where I'm going to use my seal, my seal. And I'm going to lay it down. Hang on a second. I know where my fold is. It's right there. So I am going to, probably right about here, I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive to hold this in place. Okay. And then I can work it. So we've got our fold piece. Bear with me. And let me get back to it. And it doesn't have to be exact because I've probably cut a little bit extra so we can trim it off, but we still want to make sure we've got enough. All right, so there's my fold. My ends are close. All right, so right about here, I'm going to put that here, right about there to hold that on there. All right, so we've got our ribbon. Make sure that you've got it laying flat on both sides. All right, now, so what we'll do, move these guys out of the way. So I'm going to put adhesive. I'm going to put it on the ribbon. So I'm going to leave about 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to lay it down, and I'm only going to add the adhesive from here to here, or at least get most of it, and then I can put it on the, okay. All right, so we're going to take that, and we're going to lay that over. Try to get it straight. Okay, so we've got that. And the glue is fine because we're going to cover this up with our paper. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing on this side, on the back. So, and you can do it on your card, on the cardstock if you want, because it's going to be covered with our paper. So I want my ribbon to go right here. So I'm going to take that, give it a little bit open so that we don't have it all the way covered, because we want to be able to tie our knot. Okay, and then we'll bring that around, and then that's going to go right there. All right, and that's if you put, let me do it on here, because my adhesive, obviously, I'm going to just put right like that, because it's not, it didn't want to go, and it's fine, because it's going to attach right like that. Okay, there we go. So we've got our ribbon, right? So now we will be able to tie our bow. So with that, now we can add the front and the back. So this is the front. So this is the piece that we're going to add to the front. So we'll just use our, put our adhesive on here. And you can do this, the seal if you want. All right. Make sure we get a lot of glue on that. And then we're going to pop this down here. So we're going to line it up. And it's fine that the ribbon is on the outside. It's not a big deal. It just makes it look cleaner, but no one's going to really notice that. All right, so we've got that piece there. All right, and then we've got our back side, and this part's going to go like that. So we'll go ahead and add our adhesive. Oops, did it again. I keep grabbing the wrong one. And add our multi-purpose glue. Make sure we get enough on here that it's not going to come off. And then we'll lay it on here and line it up. And we have just a little bit of a border, not much. We'll bring it down a little bit. All right, a little bit more. Hang on a second. Let's turn it this way. Let me see if I can squeeze it down some. All right, we got that. Okay, so there's our box so far, right? Isn't that pretty? And you can put something on the inside if you want. And then we're going to tie it. We'll just tie it up. Now, we're going to do a sentiment in just a minute. But the reason I wanted to leave a little bit left here is we can tie our bow and then have it kind of hanging on the top. Let me do it. Let's do it this way. Bear with me. I got glue on my fingers. Hang on a minute. See how I'm on thumbs when I tie bows? Isn't that weird? Some people tie them like, you know, nothing, and I'm thumbs. There. And of course, I got my ribbon. I did it backwards, but isn't that pretty? All right, so we're going to do, I'm going to undo that, and we'll do the ribbon in a minute. All right, so now we're going to do our sentiment. And on this one, I am using the Country Corners dies. And I'm using the largest and the next one in. So I'm using the first one out and the second one in. And I'm just doing it in the same garden green cardstock and then basic white. And then I'm going to use the stamp set from the Good Feelings. And you can pick and choose whichever, but I'm going to do the Sending Sunshine and Good Feelings Your Way. So, you know, that could be for anything. It could be a thank you. You could put thank you cards in there. It could be goodwill cards. It could be a combination of cards. You could put all occasion. And I think the box will hold at least 5 with it. So let's go ahead. We're going to ink up our stamp. And this is a big stamp. And then we've got our glass here. So that should give us enough cushion, or what we need. Well, we don't really need it for the cling because the red rubber is already on there. So we're going to get that inked up, and then we'll come over here and we'll stamp right here, and I'll push down on that. And then let's see if we have some embellishments we can add to this to make it look pretty. I'm just going to hold my hand on this for a minute while I find some embellishments to put on here. There we go. So we've got that. And we can always put a little piece of ribbon on that as well. So we're going to adhere this, and we're going to glue this part flat, and then this one we're going to pop up on dimensionals. So we want to give it a little bit of a lift. So we'll put it in the 4 corners. Actually, let me move it back down a little bit. So, all right. It's okay. So we're going to take this off, and we're going to pop this down on the green. Give me a second here. All right, so we're going to put this on here, and we'll make that. Isn't that pretty how it just covers it right up? Now we could add whatever you want on here. So we're gonna glue this down. Rhinestones on here. We'll dress it up. We can color them if we need to. So let's put a couple of rhinestones on here. Let's put some big ones, and we're just gonna put. Let's put a couple here. We'll just put 3 at the top and. Put 3 here. Now, you know, again, if it's going to be for a gentleman, you obviously will put something else that's going to make it look more masculine. And I think we'll just do 3 at the bottom. We'll just keep it the same. So we'll put 3 at the bottom here. And I'm just eyeballing, trying to make sure I've got them even. It's close enough, right? Okay, so let's do that. And then let's put our adhesive on here. And we're going to lay this guy down. He's going to go flat. All right. Probably put too much glue on there, but I always want to make sure there's enough on there, right? All right, so we're going to lay that right there and get it all nice and pretty looking. All right, and let's tie our bow now. Let's see if we can get it going in the right direction and have our tails going down. All right, so we'll tie it shut. Isn't this cute? I just thought this was such a cute idea. I found this on Pinterest, actually, and it was done by Jan B., one of our demonstrators over in the UK. There we go. We got our bow. And this is the bubble bath. Isn't this cute? Yeah, that's the other thing. If somebody's having a baby, you know, you can make a cute little box with baby stuff in there. Whatever. It's whatever you think. Let me pull this down a little bit. I'm kind of weird about, you know, I want my loops to look nice, but I don't want them to look so big. So let me pull them shorter. And that way, when I tie it, they'll get a little bit bigger. There we go. All right, how's that? Let's trim these tails up just a little. I'm going to trim them about like that and about like that. All right, so there is our box that we made. All right, thanks everybody. I really appreciate it.